to the uphill side, away from the ocean. Okay, because we're at a 45-degree angle, who knows how to call it. And they also do it.
Yeah.
And
Excellent.
so
Good,
now,
good to know.
so they'll take it and they'll put a socket up inside and then you have a screw-in LED, right?
Right.
So I've actually been doing some work on lighting for my board. And it looks like the county also accepts translucent light shielding. It does not define how much translucency is required in order to achieve that. But I am wondering if I could get an approval that says either as specified or with translucent lens glass meeting the county requirements. If I could get that in the motion,
Yes,
then they'll.
definitely. Yeah, whatever meets the county requirements of night sky compliance, that would be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no landscape, right?
No landscape.
Okay.
We're not touching the ground at all.
Okay, so, okay, we're ready for preliminary and final. We'll do that. Okay.
I think it's just on for final.
This is preliminary and final.
Okay, great.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay,
You're good.
thank
You're
you.
good
I'm
to
gonna
go.
wait around. I have a public comment, but
Okay,
something else.
all right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So we have a second project at, what is it, 6028 Lagolita Road. LMA Architects. Mike Brown is he here? You don't have him yet. Okay, we can. All right. Yeah, I was looking at this project. I was very confused because it talks about a yeah, the description. That's why I called I contacted the planner and said, like, where is this? Where is carport? I said, well, no, there is no carport. There's an ADU, but really that's what the project is all about. But there is yeah, anyway. So can you show the we don't really need the applicant. I mean, can we show the carport in there? There it is. That okay, let's see if we can find the elevation of the darn thing. That's the ADU. That's the ADU. That's the ADU. That's the ADU as well. Oh, that's is that the ADU or wait, what is that? Is that the carport or is that the what is that? Huh. Okay, keep going. Let's see. Maybe it might be. Yeah, I think that's that. Yeah, I know that's enough. No, let's go back. That's the ADU, and let's go back to see if we find the elevation, because the carport is I mean the porch is a porch, right? It's a patio, it's a covered patio. Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's that one there that I'm not sure it's this thing or this is the no, it's an ADU. That's the ADU, right? Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Good morning. Well, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm looking at. To tell you the truth, it's just very confusing. Yeah, the temporary. Yeah, that might be. Is that it? Is that corner piece, or is this the ADU? Okay, propose for 1 bedroom. No, that's the ADU. If you can go up, maybe you can. Okay, that's the ADU again. Keep going. Keep going. Where? No, I think the patio is on the other. It's a covered patio, and I think, and it's not part of the ADU. No, but that's the ADU. Yeah, but that's the patio of ADU. Keep going. I think it's the, on the main house. Can you enlarge the main house part? That's the ADU, the one next to it. There. That. I don't see anything. What is
No, I
it?
just feel like we're just like squinting.
sorry.
Oh. Hey, forgot it's like- Oh. Wow, we'll last so much longer now. I don't know.
Is the planner here, Kylie Sanchez? I don't know what. Okay, well, we don't have to continue this. Okay, yeah, because it's unclear what exactly is being presented. Okay,
They come back before.
okay.
Mr. Michael Brown, can you hear me? Applicant for item C2. Page Carport. Hey, Joe, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Will the applicant for item C2, can you hear us? Oh, he's pretty still.
I just want to know what exactly is it that we're looking at. It's not a carport. I think it's a patio now. So is that the patio in the back? I mean, can we ask him to,
Mr. Michael, can you hear us? Yeah, he's yeah.
oh, that's Jeff Correll right there, right? Yeah, yeah. Is that right? Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
should be on.
Yeah. Yeah, he has his hand up. Yeah. Hey, Jeff, we don't know what exactly we're looking at. We're looking for the patio or the carport. Is that the patio to the south of the ADU or is there something else? We cannot hear you. Can you wave your hand? Yeah. You're
So
still,
you can hear us, but we can't hear you.
Unmute. Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Can you hear me now? Alex, can you hear me?
yes, we do.
Okay, yes, you're correct. It's the patio is to the south, and what you're looking at is nothing has changed from what was previously approved on that patio. I had to come back because this patio is considered an accessory structure. When I was before you last, we had a carport up closer to the house and a retaining wall, and it became this 30% slope issue, even though it was a man-made slope and 2.5 truckloads of dirt. And the owner said, let's just take it out. Let's not complicate anything. So I'm back before you for preliminary and final, and nothing has changed except the carport and that retaining wall are gone.
So, but you're here because of the patio? Is the patio is not considered the cover porch?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Where you have a roof over a patio on an ADU, it's considered an accessory structure and
Oh,
therefore has to go through the land use permit process.
okay, very good. Jonathan, can we take a look at the elevations again quickly? Yeah, I was just trying to, yeah, there, okay, yeah, keep going, keep going. Yeah, that's the framing. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's the, and that is the, where is it? A little bit one,
That'd
two.
be the lower one, the bottom south
Oh,
elevation.
there it is with the post. Okay, I see it now. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. We can, yeah, we can give it a preliminary and what does it need? Final?
And final, yeah, preliminary and final.
Yeah, fine. Okay, no problem. Okay, you got it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay,
bye.
bye-bye.
Okay. Oh, I guess I can just, it's not coming through yet, so I can just begin anyways. Is it sure that it's sent? Oh, okay, there we go. Came in.
Okay.
Okay. Was that? Oh, yeah, I just had to get on the Zoom call. Okay, we will begin the Asbury hearing of March 1st, 2024. And we will begin with any public comment not pertaining to a item agendized on today's agenda. One speaker slip. John
You have a
Watson?
speaker for me. My name is John Watson. I am a member of the Montecito Board of Architectural Review, but I'm not speaking representing them. I am speaking as an individual architect. Although I bring up a concern that we see at the MBAR all the time, metal roofs that are really reflective, that affect neighbors negatively. And I have been looking and Bill Wolf, one of my fellow board members, said that he had found a product that is essentially non-reflective, meets cool roof requirements, is black, is metal, et cetera. And I wanted to share that with you because it's important enough. We've had negative public comment from neighbors after roofs have gotten installed where it's really objectionable. So I have the product sheet that I brought in for you guys to read. There's actually 4 pages and it is an education. It'll talk about LRV, SRI, gloss and sheen, et cetera. And I am not trying to recommend this project or this product, but knowing that a product like this exists, I think that your board and other boards could say, please provide a product that has a low gloss or sheen. And I now believe there's one available, so that's not an impossible request. So I have these. I want to thank you. Good luck with that.
John, you said there's a black roof. I assume they have other colors.
They have other colors. They have a green and a brown and a white. And they have different amounts of this and that, but the reflectivity,
Yeah.
which is really about the smoothness of the top surface, is what matters. And this product has a painted surface, which I think almost every metal roof has, but they found a way to apply that paint so that it has texture. So that what happens is, like a piece of bark, light comes, but it goes in all kinds of different directions as opposed to a mirror, which is perfectly flat, which comes and bounces off only in one direction. So you don't get the scattering in the vast majority of metal products. This product has one that deals with scattering. And not only that, apparently there's some infrared paint formulations that allow you to have darker colors but still have a relatively low absorption of heat into your building so that it meets the cool roof requirements. It's quite an amazing product. It took me 2 reads. So if it takes you that or less, congratulations. More, don't be worried. But there's quite a lot of information in there. So thank you. I have seconds left.
Yeah, question. John, can you write something like in one paragraph, something that we start in order to become, let's say, the standard? It needs to be put into some kind of a format that maybe will become part of the design standards of the county. Can you figure out a way to put it into, a line or 2 so it can,
SRI.
yeah, something like that, yeah.
I brought 7. I only see 6 people, so there's 1 extra. What?
Oh, Valerie's
Will
coming.
be here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to email this sheet to my secretary, David Villalobos. I would hope that this would get into Joe Dargle, Kimberly, and then into the staff and have them look at it. But I think read it and figure out what you guys want to do with it. I don't know if I think that low sheen or low gloss is an important element in a design review for the neighbors. And this product does that. I hope other products will also do it, but there's at least one that we can ask them to use. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Right, is there any other public comment not related to items agendized today? I don't see any hands up online. Anyone in the audience? Okay,
We have no other requests to speak.
okay. We'll close public comment and move on to an agenda status report.
We have received no request to continue any items today.
Okay. And we'll move on to review the minutes of February 2nd. Is that the correct date?
16.
Okay. Yes, sorry, I'm holding, yes, okay, I'm holding the minutes of February 2nd. Okay, so we'll review the minutes of February 16th. We can go all the way to item 1.
Madam Chair, I think this item is correct, except that the second line on A is not really, should be deleted because it is addressed later on because it says that the documentation, the line says is appropriate, but later on it says provide graphic representation demonstrating the different stages and so forth. So the board is supportive of the plan changes, but the documentation is required on B and C. So eliminate the second line. Documentation of site plan changes is appropriate.
Okay, anything else on that 1? We can move to 2. And 3. Chris, does B on item 3 look like a good summary? Yeah, it's a heavy comment.
I guess the only thing I might add is study planting palette under oak trees. Species of proposed plants require full sun and may not be successful. Also, and then add, also be cognizant of water use as oak trees do not like summer water, something like that. I didn't see the list, so I'm not sure, but.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good summary of this. All right. 4. Five. Right, anybody have anything on 4? Okay.
Chair, I would amend A to read, garage design does not integrate well with existing structure, because whether it appears as a separate building or not is kind of like a little bit up there.
And 4.
Yeah, I'm talking 4A, I'm sorry. Is that what we're looking at? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 4A, I would just eliminate garage design does not integrate well with existing structure. Then kind of repeats the same on B. Yep. I will make A a little bit more direct. Existing tree grounds structure, period. Protect or replace with new specimen tree. Because when the word should is it's wishy-washy.
And I think should say to identify or clarify that the existing tree doesn't conflict with the building. It looked like the building was going to be built right up against the tree.
Okay, existing tree grounds structure, verify that it will not be damaged by construction. Protect or replace with new specimen tree. I think that's pretty clear then. And the second B, make window fenestration consistent throughout. Don't study it, just make it.
Madam Chair, to confirm for item A, were there any changes to that one besides protect and or replace?
He asked for a period after structure and then protect being starting the next sentence, but still with.
Great. Okay, I have that. So we don't need to add anything about verifying the new structure will impact the tree, the existing tree.
I think that it should be clarified. You should say to identify the trunk and canopy of the existing tree and to clarify whether or not it will be impacted by the proposed structure. And if it's not feasible to build the building there right next to the tree, then it should be replaced.
Okay, great. I've got that.
Yeah, he did. He said he was going to get an arborist involved. So yeah,
would add
confirm with an arborist.
Okay, and on D, we can clean this up a little bit. Study ways to improve garage elevation, eliminate door. Incorporate architectural elements such, eliminate above garage, such as an eyebrow over garage doors. Incorporate architectural elements such as an eyebrow over garage doors. Okay.
Anything else on 5? Go to 6. I have a question on 6. Do the architects recall being supportive of the mass bulk and scale, making that comment?
Yeah,
We're,
yeah, we say it's okay and then tear it down in the next
yeah,
paragraph.
yeah, that it feels contradictory to the rest
Yeah.
of the comments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big statement to make if
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
sure.
Well,
I think it was more about a comment of the site can handle this density,
yeah,
but
yeah.
not in this configuration. I I think that's
Yeah,
how we
yeah,
worded it.
Yeah.
But do we want to remove the first sentence and leave the second sentence?
Yeah, and I don't know if, I don't think it was that, I think density of development, could be appropriate for this
Yeah.
site or something.
I think
That's what LSI said.
I suggest we do something like this. Board is generally supportive of the density of development at this location for future housing.
Okay,
We are supportive of the density.
yeah.
Okay.
At the mass spoken scale, I don't remember us making that. actually.
Yeah. Besides, we did not see the final plan. We saw something else that had already been.
Did we note that in here, just,
See. Okay, yeah, I think we should put that. Board did not review the revised revision to the site to address planning comments. Because the planning comment was do not access the site from Hollister.
Yeah.
And we did not see that plan. We didn't, we barely saw it.
let's see if the request for a transportation engineer, is it on here? In B, board is supportive of the driveway being pushed to the rear of the property. I guess driveway, but we don't want that to imply that we're saying where the curb cut ingress egress should be.
Well,
Maybe it's okay.
it has to be there because this is the only access left, right? It's on a corner.
Yeah, I think that's not for us to say, right?
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah.
Transportation and a traffic engineer.
So is that, would you like to remove that sentence altogether?
Yeah, because it actually wasn't even on the plan we were reviewing either. Flashed on the screen, but it wasn't.
We're removing the third sentence, right? A fourth sentence, board is supportive of the driver being pushed to the rear of the property. That line would go out?
Yes, because I think
Yeah.
it's like tail wagging the dog. We,
Yeah, no,
I
I agree.
Final say.
I agree, totally agree. But locate units closer to Hollister and provide land, that is, well,
Mm.
I
I think,
I was,
yeah, was this part of your comment?
I'm not sure which one you're referencing. but-
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to suggest for E, fences and gates are not compatible with the neighborhood and should not be installed at the edge of sidewalk. There should be landscape planting at the edge of the sidewalk between any fencing. And then I think that following sentence should be another item. And it should identify that there needs to be appropriate buffering with landscaping around the entire property, including along Hollister and along the back of the property between the neighbors that were concerned. And then, actually, I think that was.
so, Robert, I think your comment refers to E and E. When it says fences and gates are not compatible, I think you're talking about if a long fence along Hollister Avenue, that would not be acceptable, right? Is
Yeah,
that,
they had iron fencing like right up against the edge of the sidewalk.
I see.
I don't think that's compatible with the neighborhood, but I think that the landscape screening around the property should be like a
Mhm.
different item addressed.
Should
Is it-
we,
Needs to happen along the back of the property and along the front of it.
okay. Should we remove, in B, should we remove locate units closer to Hollister and provide landscape buffer between site and residential properties to the south? I think we should remove locate units closer to Hollister because I think there's
Yep.
a setback that they were having to
Yeah.
comply with. To just keep provide landscape buffer between site and residential properties.
I think, Madam Chair, a very good idea not to dictate what we want. Basically, We need, because then they will come back and say, oh, this is what you told us to do.
Exactly. It's more like, cause
Yeah.
their site planning study might move things
Yeah.
around, so. Okay. Any other comments on, or adjustments to six?
Yeah, I think when you say more efficient use of space, I think it's more efficient use of parking. I think because what happens is I think all that paving refers to driveways, right? And that it,
So vehicular paving,
yeah,
to
more,
reduce vehicular paving.
yeah,
They
more
didn't have a
efficient.
lot of landscape they didn't have a lot of.
Right, right. Provide more efficient parking layout or something like that to minimize to reduce paving. Yeah.
Parking circulation.
Yeah, yeah, parking circulation and yeah.
For comment C, I think it should also include return with site plan showing existing and proposed features of site, including existing trees and any proposed removal of trees. And there seemed to have been a discussion that somebody had already gone in and removed the trees on the property, so I don't know if comment towards that, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, which comment was that on?
that was C. So I think it should be return with site plan showing existing and proposed features of site, including any existing trees that are proposed to remain or be removed.
Mhm.
Great, I got that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Huh? Yes. And it was noted, so it's not, yeah, it can be a comment. Okay. Anything on 7? Just pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Well, I think G is a little bit difficult. It says simplify architecture and incorporate variation. So I think it definitely needs to simplify the architecture. And I'm not sure how to say that. Include variation, but don't make it more complicated.
Yeah, I wonder if you should say something about the repetition is not compatible with the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's putting up 4 buildings that are all the same, you know, and
Okay, well, just leave it alone. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
All right.
okay, very good. All right.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to amend to approve the minutes as amended.
they all second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One abstention.
And we'll move on to SBAR members' informational briefings.
I just like to talk again about these file sizes. I mean, it keeps happening. There are 63, 69 megabytes, and what I think it has to be directed to whoever is in charge of this issue. When a planner gets a file and it's 63, the first thing the planner needs to do is to press a button that says reduce size PDF. From 63, it will go down to 15. And that's fine. No information will change in that file, but it will be smaller. So that up to whoever loads the files needs to pay attention to that. It's really a simple clerical
Should
activity.
ask Who is loading them because you've had. this
Yeah, we're going on 4 years of this now.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh.
combination of, I share the box files with the planner and then they upload. And then when there's new projects that come to the public counter and they come to SBAR, those plans get sent to me and then I add the box.
Well, when you put them in the box, press the buttons. You do have a feature that says reduce size PDF, right? In your
You have to
Chrome.
get a pro version of Adobe Pro to get on mine.
Yes, yes, please. I'll pay for it.
No request for, or,
Just
request
send
of
me a
your
bill.
supervisor
I
to
will
give you
pay
that.
for it. You
Yeah.
know, it's just,
Yeah.
please, let's move it on and press that button. The thing shrinks and we are all happier and everything moves faster.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Madam Chair, if I
Yes.
could just jump in real quick on this. So we can go ahead and follow up the planning team and DevRev on this to make sure that everyone is re-engaged on this issue. We've discussed this a few times, but we can make sure that that's an extra step that planners work through to make sure that's resolved. And then maybe we can just check in over the next few hearings to see if it's improving.
Okay, what I was thinking, it might be easy enough that if everything's uploaded and then the day before Jonathan sends us the box link, it just everything gets downloaded, shrunk and re-uploaded. So it's like one final pass versus every individual planner. Because I don't know
Not
how
that
that would
hard.
quality control happen, but anyways, not for us to figure out, but it would be helpful.
We can,
Okay.
yeah, we can certainly look at that and see the best options. I'm not sure once they're uploaded, if it's something that we can revise the plans once they're uploaded, but I can certainly look into that and follow up with you guys at the next hearing.
Okay, thank you.
And I have to miss one more meeting next time.
Next time, okay. And I'm gonna have a limited window next time, so, but if there's a quorum issue, mine is a little bit more flexible.
Okay, mine's not.
Yours is not, okay.
I'll be out of town.
Okay. All right, and we'll move on to staff update. I think we do have something today.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair. No updates from me today.
Thank you. But we do have a presentation from Kevin De Los Santos.
I'm sorry.
Good
It should
morning.
be here on there.
Yeah, good morning, Madam Chair. This is Ben Singer. Just a little error on the agenda, got the wrong name on there, but I will be giving you a hopefully quick presentation.
You should be able to share your screen now. I think I made you a co-host.
Yes. Let's see, make sure that this is working. Do you see my screen, the presentation?
You can see it.
Perfect. Alrighty, yes. Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, members of SBAR. I am one of the county long-range planners. I've been working on an update to the county sign ordinance. So I'll be going through a hopefully quick presentation for you today on kind of broad strokes of what the changes are. I'm going to try to keep it brief since I know you've got a decent amount on your agenda, and we'll be available to answer questions afterward. For pretty brief project overview first, the sign ordinance amendments are part of a larger zoning ordinance amendment project that the county is undergoing. The sign amendments specifically are part of the technical updates, which is kind of an effort to consolidate and standardize existing requirements that we have. The main objectives of this amendment are to clarify the regulations and make them more effective, easier to use and understand, and consistent with free speech protections. This will update sign regulations in the Inland Land Use and Development Code, the Montecito Land Use and Development Code, and Article 2, the Coastal Zoning Ordinance. And with these amendments implemented, Article 1, which is a pretty kind of older document of sign regulations, will be retired. The proposed amendments will primarily carry forward and refine the existing standards. Some obsolete sections, such as signs for shopping centers, will be deleted, and I'll go over the notable changes that are included in these amendments. The applicability of the provisions has been updated to be more content and message neutral. It'll also allow for more usage of registered trademarks and make non-commercial signs subject to the same standards as commercial signs. These changes are all to be more consistent with freedom of speech provisions and the state and US constitutions. The exemptions have also been expanded to include exemptions that are listed elsewhere in the codes, and then include signs like addresses, historic plaques, displays on vehicles, no trespassing signs, things like that. we're also refining the exemption for temporary window signs to limit the size and how long the signs are displayed. Prohibited signs have been expanded to explicitly include things like inflatables, streamers, and other attention-getting devices, except if they're temporary for a specific event. Also prohibited are off-site signs, certain lighting for signs, signs in the public right-of-way or on trees or terrain, and some of the others that are listed here. We're also simplifying how sign area is measured. So it's basically drawing 2 rectangles around the sign and taking that area, rather than the current method, which describes drawing 8 straight lines. It's just a little bit clearer to do it with the 2 rectangles. Changeable copy signs are currently restricted just to religious institutions for manually changeable copies and to gas stations for electronically changeable. So this is proposed for expansion to allow manual changeable copy to most signs and electronic changeable copy to institutional uses as well as the gas stations. There are some general revisions to standardize the allowances for signs, as well as new descriptions for the size, number, and location of portable signs and permanent window signs. Some existing allowances for off-site signs are also being removed. The permitting pathway pretty much going to stay the same. It'll still be a sign certificate of conformance through the planning department for all signs that are not exempt. Design review will still be required for overall sign plans, and when a sign is part of a larger project that requires design review, or it's required by something else such as the zone district requires it explicitly. The applicability of overall sign plans is being updated since the shopping center zone district has been removed, so we're just cleaning that up a little bit. Non-conforming sign standards are being changed to be consistent with the regulations for other non-conforming structures in the county. They're currently a little bit at odds, so we're just making them more the same across both. There will also be new sections added for standards for the maintenance of signs. And all of the various zoning codes are proposed to be updated so the sign regulations are consistent across the county, and there are going to be redundancies that we'll be removing. And then there's going to be a list of new definitions that are added to make sure that everything is clear just as we add new terms. That concludes kind of this quick overview of these changes. I am available for questions. Our deputy Alex Tuttle is here, as are our consultants, if you have any questions or comments on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have some questions. What's the status of the pole signs? Are they allowed or what?
You want me to take that, Ben? Or do you
Yeah,
know?
please. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up.
Hey, Esbar, this is Alex. So pole signs are currently allowed in the code, with the exception of Summerland, where I think the height limit for a freestanding sign is 5 feet. So the current proposal is to continue to allow pole signs. I know that's been somewhat contentious in the past on particular projects. Certainly, if the BAR has a strong opinion on that, you're free to make recommendations. We have proposed to change how the height of a pole sign is measured. Right now, you measure it from like the closest center line of the street. And we're looking to just simplify that. So a pole sign would be measured from grade.
What's the height of that? 25 or what is it?
It's 10 feet.
10 feet. Oh, 10 foot to the top of the sign. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is it 10 feet in all situations, Martha?
Yeah. Except for Summerland, which is more stringent.
Similar question. What happens with a new copy to a non-conforming sign? like for instance, in Summerland, they have this, what used to be the yellow house, the big yellow house, an enormous sign, and well, some of us find it very problematic. But the business keep changing and the sign still stays there. What's the story? Is that the 9-year window that you mentioned in the ordinance?
So non-conforming, basically, with the non-conforming, we treat it like any other non-conforming structure, where you are allowed to make modifications or upgrades to a non-conforming structure, so long as you're kind of not exacerbating or increasing the non-conformity. So you could not enlarge or expand it, but you could like change out the sign, I suppose, as long as you're staying within the same footprint of the sign.
So just to clarify, it's a big issue for us. So an existing pole sign that had a permit or was allowed before, non-conforming, it could remain. They could keep changing the copy because it's a new, ownership changes, the business changes, and is it allowed to remain? Is it allowed to have a new copy? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
One more thing. How about signs directed to the freeway? I mentioned that because the city of Santa Barbara has a different type of approach to signage, where the sign needs to be directed to the path of entry or to the street or to the front door. There's a relationship between the sign and the front door. Whereas as the buildings related closer to the freeway, they may have a pole sign facing the freeway, but the entrance and the access to the site has nothing to do with that. The access is on, let's say, on Calle Real or someplace else. Do you have any directives regarding that?
Yeah, I know this issue came up in Summerlin with the gas station. So I believe we've tried to clean up the definition of where a sign could be placed in relationship to the street frontage. And right now the language, there's somewhat conflicting language or less than perfectly clear language in the code. And so I believe the way it's proposed to be written is it would allow signage on a frontage, basically on the side of a building along a frontage, which could include, in cases of fronting the freeway, could include the freeway. So in other words, it doesn't have to be tied to the building entrance or where the public accesses the site.
It's not tied to the frontage, or is it? I mean, like, if it's out of the way I guess you had one case in Summerland where exiting the freeway, you could see this sign, but not necessarily from the freeway itself. I'm not. I mean, I hope you can clarify this because it's going to come back to bite you.
Yeah, I think the current language says it has to be like viewable from the nearest street or something like that, or visible from the street, something like that. So that is some language we're looking to clean up.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the board on the presentation? Okay, we'll close the staff update and we will,
But before we move on, so as Ben mentioned, there's currently no proposal to change the design review requirements for signs, but I would be curious to hear from your board if you have an opinion on that particular topic. We know not all signs are created equal. Some fly through your process in and out very quickly and easily, others not so much. But does your board or do you all have thoughts as to whether you want to continue to have design review authority over signs as you currently do?
Yes.
Yeah, we do want to continue, but we want it to be really clear what the parameters are from planning. And often when we're reviewing, the applicant will present it one way and we are unclear whether that's supported by planning.
I'll speak. I'm in favor of us reviewing them, and I'm satisfied with the status quo. I don't think we need any more information to judge the signs. I think we're doing a good job.
Anything else?
I'm curious, what would be the alternative of us not reviewing them? They would just be approved through the planning department, just see that they meet the standards?
That's certainly one option, yes. Overall sign plans, plans that are tied to like multi-tenant commercial enterprises, those would continue to be reviewed by your board, but there's certainly an option to pursue exempting other like individual sign applications.
So to clarify, if a project came into the county just for signage and no other improvements, it would get kicked to us currently?
It depends. So right now, the way signs come to you are some communities like Summerlin say all development, including signs, are subject to design review. So any sign in Summerlin comes to you. Other areas, basically any development within particular commercial zones are subject, including signs, are subject to design review. So that would be another instance where if it's within a particular zone district that requires design review, like the C2 zone, then the sign would come to you. Or if it's part of a larger project that is subject to your review, then it would come as part of that. So it's variable as to what the trigger might be.
Okay.
And so our current proposal is to basically continue with that current approach.
Okay. Are you asking for a vote from us or just feedback in general?
No, just feedback. It doesn't have to be a vote.
Okay.
And that sounds like we got the feedback. So.
Sounds good. Thanks, Alex.
All right. Thank you all.
Thanks, Ben.
Yep, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda items. Items C1 and C2 were reviewed.
Yes, we reviewed and approved the submitted and make a motion to do that.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Move on to standard agenda. Item 1, the Greenfield additions. At the request of Peter Mason, agent for John and Lorelei Greenfield, G. Greenfield Trust. It's here for conceptual review of a 2-bedroom addition. 120 square feet and a 137 square foot additions to the building with a seismic upgrade, interior renovation and replacement of windows, exterior siding to match the existing condition. There's currently 1,071 square foot main house and a 600 square foot garage on the property. Project will not require grading, and it's on a 1.14 acre site located at 2487 Banner Avenue in the Summerlin Community Plan area. Is the applicant here or online?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you can go ahead and state your name and give us your presentation.
My name is Peter Mason. I am the architect on the project. Lorelei is the owner. And it's a very old house that's needs some work. But we want to keep the house as much as possible in the same vernacular as what it is now. So that's the existing house elevations. If you go down to the next. So that's some pictures of what it is. It's a blue siding. The siding's in pretty bad shape. It needs some seismic upgrades. The windows all need to be replaced, et cetera. And what we're trying to do is keep the house in the same vernacular as what it is now, with the two small additions. Go to the next page. There's two small additions on the front. Bedroom 1 extends out a little bit past where the existing porch is now. And then bedroom 2 is an addition on the other side. And then the interior is all reconfigured into a great room with the kitchen on it, and then a master bedroom, all which open towards the ocean side, and then changing fenestration on that side to be more open to the ocean and the view. The existing house has bathrooms and that kind of stuff in that zone, which is kind of what we're doing. And then the two little additions are basically in keeping with what's already there. The addition, the lower addition, the one on the elevation here on the left side, that portion of the addition is moved back because on that side of the house, the property line is really close. It's like 2 feet or something like that. So we moved that back to be within the 5-foot setbacks. And then we're just rebuilding the house to keep its basic vernacular, which we think is really fits well with the community. Lighting, we're trying to simplify. And then there's a couple of different schemes for, you can see how the two additions really don't do much. And then we're adding a little porch on the front side, but covering over the front porch because it really gets a lot of sun. You can see in these pictures how that whole beach side is nothing but a bunch of little tiny windows for bathrooms and kitchens. So we're trying to open all that up. The deck needs to be rebuilt. And then we're doing some seismic upgrades. We're doing the entire seismic upgrade.
Very good, thank you. Is there any landscaping or any site improvements associated with scope?
It's cleaning up the landscaping hadn't been worked on for quite a while, so we're kind of cleaning that up as we're going. There's no real major changes to that other than moving some stuff out of the way for the construction and that kind of stuff. We're trying to keep it as much as possible within as an existing cottage.
Thank you. That conclude your presentation?
What?
That conclude your presentation?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to questions from the board.
I think I thought I saw a white version on the presentation. Wasn't there one with white siding?
Yes. What we're trying to do is we're trying to decide which color we want to do, whether we keep it the same blue that it is now, or it goes to a little bit more contemporary color of white.
But where is that?
I don't know whether it's in this package or not.
Sorry, so you're proposing blue or white? For clarity.
We'd like to do the white.
Yeah.
We started off doing the blue and then we decided the white would probably be better.
Where is it?
It's in a package that we sent to.
It was uploaded. I saw it. Yes.
I don't know. I don't have this set. This looks like it's the older set. It would be at the end if it was anywhere.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah. So one question. Have you thought about doing something with the understory of the deck?
Yes, we'd like to put some. I thought we originally had something where we had a horizontal space, spaced wood in between it, so that it's a little bit more solid.
And then you change your mind, or what happened?
No, we want to do that. We definitely want to do that. I think it just got dropped out of the version, one of the versions.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
What's happening with the garage? It's the separate building, right?
We're not doing anything with it at this point.
But you're going to paint it and
Yes.
make it
Yes.
match the house.
Yes. We'll paint it to match the house.
But it doesn't need any rebuilding like everything else?
It does, but we don't want to. we need to decide what we want to do there, and how we want to do it.
Thanks.
So it'll be a
Alright.
It'll be a future phase.
See you again. No. Any other questions from the board? Okay, we'll move on to public comment. I don't see anyone in the attendees with their hand raised, but please raise your hand if there's anyone. Anyone in the audience? I have no speaker slips.
No speaker slips.
Okay, move on to comments from the board. We'll start with Val.
I think it looks like a nice update and reorganization of the windows and doors look good. I agree that looking at something to do with the underskirt of the deck is a good idea. And I think there should be, I don't know if there can be some kind of minimal landscape plan, because this is a pretty complete overhaul. And the landscape needs upgrading as much as the house does. So that would be my comments.
Done.
I agree. I think it's a,
You're good.
I think it's a good addition in the vernacular of Summerlin. And I think that's a good, sensitive approach.
I agree with those comments. Nice job.
I agree with the comments, and the one to add, just at least a plant palette and a scope of where you might be doing the landscape improvements. You are probably under the WELO requirements, if you're just doing minor ones around the house, but it'd be nice to see the direction for that. I'll just comment, I think the white is appropriate in this location, for the color. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I was going down the line. I'll keep going down the line. Josh?
Was there any proposal on exterior lighting? The applicant quickly.
Yes, you can see in the picture of the back view, there's a couple of lights on the doors along there. There are those, it's in the package, the light fixture. It's a simple black downlight.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, I would just say, please add some light fixtures to the front of or consider adding them to the street side or the front of the building. And
Yeah, no, they need to be there too.
Dark sky compliant would be what we're looking for.
Chris?
Oh, yeah, I agree with the comments. I don't mind the blue or the white, but I do think, Jonathan, if you want to real quickly go to the site photos, the third one, it kind of shows, I guess you'd call it the front yard. And you're relocating the entry sidewalk, right? And it's kind of going right next to that tree, and it seems like that could be.
It's gonna loop a little bit. Yeah, it'll loop a little bit to the side once it gets down the hill a little ways.
Yeah, so it's
we need to deal with that. Yeah.
Odd right now, so it just, I don't think it needs to be anything over the top, but I think a little more thought into that and some more plantings would go a long way. That's it.
Robert?
I think the proposal is nice and fitting to the area. I like both the colors. That's a cool little cottage. I agree that the landscape could be improved upon, but I don't think it needs to be anything over the top for this little home. And then I think the garage has kind of the biggest impact on this neighborhood, so it'd be good to, I mean, the garage looks like it's like right up against that street that's through there, so I'd encourage you to, if you're gonna, sounds like you're gonna change the garage, I think you should bring it in front of the board so that you can see what it is, because I think it has a big impact, so.
Okay, thank you. And I gave my comments prematurely, so we just see, does the board think this could come back for prelim final to the full board? Comes back so we can see the landscape plan and details? Okay, so you'll be agendized for prelim and final the next time you return.
Great, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item 2, Eberwein Trust residential additions at the. Okay. Well, at the request of Natalie Oshner, agent for the owner, Kristen Eberwein, they're here for preliminary and final review of an addition of 308 square feet square foot covered patio, an addition of 231 square foot to the first floor, 837 square feet to the second floor. And there is an existing residence of 1,998 square feet in a garage currently on the property. The project will require 247 cubic yards of cut and 120 cubic yards of fill. It's a 13,504 square foot parcel located at 2393 Whitney Avenue in the Summerlin area. We've seen this a few times. Would the applicant like me to read the comments, or do you want to go through them one by one in your presentation?
Yes, hi, this is Tom Oxner, project architect. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind reading the comments, we're going to be addressing just a few of them. We don't have the landscape complete, so I think we can just address the few comments that required restudy and then maybe move us on maybe to final on consent potentially.
Okay, all right. So the SBAR comments were architectural style is appropriate and proposal is an improvement over prior presentations. Overall, the project is successful. Mass bulk and scale is appropriate. Restudy windows above garage, entry to north elevation. Consider recessing or enlarging. Restudy fenestration on west elevation. Return with landscape plan.
So yes, so in terms of the 2 of the 5 that required restudying, the first one was restudy windows above garage and entry on north elevation. Consider recessing or enlarging. So we did that. We reconfigured the lights on the front elevation, which would be the north elevation. I'll wait until we get there. And what we did was primarily 2 things. We kind of came up with a scale and proportion of windows that we like better than the previous. I don't have the previous in front of me. But then what we did was there's a detail here on the plans that shows how we're recessing the windows into the wood surface and actually taking the wood and turning it back in. And I think that will have a nice dramatic approach to the way the windows are handled in the wood surface. So that addresses the first restudying comment. And then the other comment, which I thought was a good comment, was on the west elevation. It was rather plain and so we rethought the west elevation. If we could move down to the west elevation. And so, yeah, so the west elevation, as you recall, the lower level is really pushed up against the retaining wall and you don't really see it, but the second floor reveals itself a bit to the neighbor to the west. And so we introduced a wood bay window there that kind of continues and continues the rhythm of the wood around the perimeter and adds some interest to that west side. Thank you.
Thank you. And I saw the landscape architect on your team with their hand raised. Did they want to present anything?
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Ms. Chair.
Yes.
Yes, please. I believe it's up a little bit in this sheet, in this set. Up a little bit more, it should be Common Grounds logo on the title block. Almost. Yep, there it is. A lot of existing elements are going to be reused. The site is well privatized on the northwest and east side. Or I guess northwest and south side, sorry. The east side goes toward, so we're going to be keeping that. All the stone patios are going to be on existing slabs. The entry walkway is going to be somewhat on existing slabs. So all the new hardscape is really keeping it very similar to what it was before. The new dry stack stone wall is going to be tied into existing stone wall. The new major landscape element is going to be in the backyard. It's going to be a new monolithic firestone or fireplace. with a perforated screen that is like 2 feet on top of it and then extends off and drops to grade. So overall, that perforated screen will be 6 foot tall, but only 2 feet on top of the around 4 foot fireplace. The landscape, a lot of it is in good health. The areas that are in decline, we are going to be refreshing, and the lawn is existing, which is going to be reconfigured. So this is mostly just a refresh of areas, planting, and hardscape to match existing that we are working with the new architectural elements that are coming in. That's pretty much it.
Is this your only sheet, Nikos, or is there a detail sheet of with the fireplace?
This is our only sheet currently.
Okay. All right, if that concludes your presentation, we'll move on to questions from the board. Anyone? Questions? Okay, I'm moving on to public comment. Is there anyone online or in the audience?
Seeing none, and we have received nobody to speak on this item.
All right, we'll close public comment and come back for comments from the board. Start with Josh.
Well, generally, I think this is a very well-designed house. Seems very compatible with the neighborhood, and architectural style seems compatible. The massing and of the project's appropriate, in my mind. The elevation on the north elevation is a little bit deceiving, so thanks to the applicant for the 3D renderings help a lot. I only have 2 comments that I think the applicant should study. There's a stair tower that's nestled into the front elevation with a kind of a horizontal wood siding on that. I would study either integrating the roof of that structure with the larger roof that it's most adjacent to, or consider raising that structure up higher. I believe it's a stair tower, and get it above the adjacent roof line, and maybe consider a parapet roof, or just keeping the roof style you have and moving that up. It's kind of sitting under the eave of the other roof, and I think it kind of detracts from the overall design.
Was it the north?
Is it that one there?
It's in the stair tower.
Which one is that?
Well, there's no control lines in the drawing, so I can't tell you where it is. Anyway, the other thing is there's some columns in the project, and I noticed that there's some areas where you're using I would just recommend studying the chimney and the columns, and look at maybe considering another material to kind of contrast against the kind of cream colored plaster of the house. I see the horizontal wood sidings protruding from the south elevation in some areas, and you have it using it as a kind of a detail throughout. So perhaps that's an opportunity or to do something similar to that. But basically, just study the columns on the project and the chimney. Perhaps consider another material on that, and then get the stair tower proportions organized with the house, make it taller, or integrate the roof structure with the adjacent roof.
Are you talking about the on the north elevation next to the 3 doors in that space?
North, south, west elevation. See it from all sides. It's the stair tower. Stair tower. Look at the floor plan. You see the stair tower where the
Okay.
You kind of see it on the 3D drawing better.
Is
It shows
at
up
the
on all
3D
the
at end
elevations.
of the sheet?
3D renderings there. I'm dude. Yeah. Oh. Not it. What are the renderings, the 3D renderings? Going the wrong way. Go. Got a corner.
The pointers don't work on the screen, apparently. Move on to Alex.
Don't have any comments.
John?
Yeah, I think it's well done. I have nothing to add.
Okay. Val?
Likewise, nothing to add.
Robert?
Nothing to add other than look forward to seeing the full landscape plan.
Yeah. I don't have anything to add either. So, this item is agendized for prelim and final, and, does the board feel like they could come back final on consent with the comments from Josh and the additional detailing on the landscape plan? Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion for preliminary?
I'll make a motion for preliminary approval to continue to consent with the, to study the stairway entry area to make it more prominent and somehow detached from the roof.
I'll second.
Is that the comment? Yeah. And come back with the landscape, complete landscape plan.
Okay, all those in favor? Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Aye.
Aye.
Deal.
Okay, all right.
Nicely done.
Thank
All
you.
right, and item 3?
Thank you.
Sorry. Oh. Okay. Moving on, item 3, the Rubin addition, request of Mike Rubin, property owner. This item's here for conceptual review of an addition of 996 square feet to an existing residence. The following structures exist: 1,424 square foot single family home and a 338 square foot carport. Project will not require cut or fill. It's on a 1 acre parcel located at 1041 Palomino Road in the Mission Canyon Community Plan area. And once we get the, okay, is the applicant here online or in the audience?
Yes, I'm here. I'm the owner.
Okay. If you can go ahead and state your name and then give us your presentation.
Yes, yeah, I'll do the best I can. So my name is Mike Rubin. I'm the owner, and I am looking. I do spot a couple mistakes on the site plan. I think we got you the update in time, but we removed the carport and we removed the deck, so those are no longer part of the scope. We're just going to be doing the proposed master addition on my house. So the pretty simple. It's just an addition for basically a master suite and some bathroom for my sons. It's the idea with the house conceptually for the design is pretty much to make it in line with the rest of the neighborhood. A lot of my neighbors have the white Santa Barbara stucco which we're taking a cue from, and we're going to do that. And that is about it. The doors will be like a nice simple wood French door.
Can you clarify where the addition is being added? Go to the floor plan, Jonathan, just so that we have something for context.
Yes, so that if you're looking at the section of the building on the left-hand side.
That whole section, okay.
Yeah, that whole section. So right where that bathroom and that kind of little flex space, that's the end of the existing residence.
Okay, so if we can go to an elevation now so that we can see what's being added. This is existing.
Yeah, there you go. You can see the addition existing line kind of cut.
Okay. Maybe we should show the existing photos on the screen too, just I think, was there a separate file, Jonathan? Existing photos of the property. I saw you flash them up for a second, I think. Okay, you can just click through them so that we can get context.
And that's the site of the addition. It's basically just wide open area.
Okay.
Do you have photos of the existing residence?
I think that's it.
Is that it?
That's it right there, yeah.
How about the whole front, no?
How about I'm sorry, repeat that one more time?
Yeah, the rest of the building. Do you have a picture of the rest of the building?
I don't. I can certainly supply those. I think these were submitted when I did the initial permit. They asked for the site location of the proposed addition. I think that's what these are documenting.
Okay, if that concludes your presentation, we'll move on to questions from the board. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. What kind of roof are you proposing?
For the roof, we're gonna do a corrugated metal roof, and the idea with that was is to blend in also with the neighbors. That area on Palomino historically was an equestrian area, so lots of my neighbors have these really beautiful horse barns, all with corrugated metal roofs. So the idea was we would do a corrugated metal roof and it just kind of blend in with all the neighbors.
And your eave detail, what's that going to be?
I believe the eave detail is the smooth stucco travels underneath the eave.
So is it soffitted? Or is it following the rafter tails?
Softened.
Okay. Can we go to the proposed elevations?
Might have been a detail sheet. I think. Oh, it does look soft
It
in
looks,
that section.
yeah, it looks pretty clipped off. And are you recessing the windows or I'm assuming the existing wall structure is pretty small.
Yeah,
So-
the windows can't be recessed just because of to match the rest of the house.
Any other questions?
How about landscape?
We're not going to do any landscape. We're really close to the Santa Barbara Botanic Garden. So we're really sensitive to just leaving it very natural. It's a very lush area already, and we love it like that.
All right, any other questions? All right, we'll move on to public comment. I don't see anyone in the attendees. And no slips.
We have received no requests to speak for this item.
Okay. And there were no public comment letters, correct?
No.
Okay. All right, we'll close public comment and move on to comments from the board, and we'll start with John's.
Well, I think that the it's pretty ordinary, and I'm not sure that the corrugated metal roof, although it's fireproof to be sure, is appropriate for a residence of this nature anyway. I don't think that relating it to a stable makes much sense to me, but I think that the building itself is pretty ordinary, and I think that it would be good to try to recess the windows or show us a colored elevation as to what colors you're going to use and what's reflected here, or what it's going to look like. I think that would be a step in the right direction.
Val?
Yeah, I guess it feels pretty undeveloped at this point. There should be some kind of eaves or trellis or coverings over all those doors. You could have more of a break between your two roof lines so that it doesn't read like one slightly offset long ridge. And I think you do need landscape. The photos don't make it look real lush. And not that it needs to be lush, it wants to be native, but it wants to be organized.
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, can we go to the roof plan? I think it's the other way, yeah. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. There, wait, this has passed it. Yeah, yeah, you can see how it's not really very well put together. I think, I'll be blunt, I think this project needs a little bit more study. Go to the existing elevations, please, a little bit further up. There you go. See the elevation where the doors are, the gable is centered on that elevation. That is properly, it's a nice, not necessarily overly formal, but it's an organized elevation. Whereas when you go to the proposed elevation, all of that gable and it kind of gets lost and go to a new elevation, Jonathan. Yeah, you can see what happens. It gets all kind of mashed into the roof. The gable doesn't follow on it's not centered on the door anymore, and so forth. I think the massing, something needs to change. This thing is not working now. Another issue is I'm kind of curious about the amount of skylights. It seems like there are 7 new. Can you go to the roof plan a little bit further up? Yeah, I mean, God, 5, 7 new ones on top of 5, 8. That's 15 skylights. Okay, that's yeah. Kind of wonder how come there's a need for all these lights. Maybe the windows are too small, or I never seen a house with 15 skylights, and and so anyway, there's something about the design here that is not really complete. And it's very much shown in this page on the roof how the gable does not really fit with the with the addition, right?
Okay, Josh.
Go to the site photos.
Thought this house was on a slope when I was looking at the site plan, but it looks like it's in a flat spot, right? Is it this?
They're not doing that anymore. It's not updated.
Oh. But it shows like this huge grade here, right? And then I'm looking at that, looks flat. So the addition, what I'm looking
I
at
think it's a really zoomed in photo of this spot standing there.
right here.
Yeah,
Ah, okay, I see.
somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay, so when you look up to the left of, so if you
You
goes
click
down, it goes down, okay. Right? So if I'm staring at that, yeah,
I believe that's this hill
yeah,
going
I
up.
get it. I get it now. Okay. So we're doing an addition on that. And where are the pictures of the elevations of the existing house?
There's drawings, but not.
So we have the elevations of the entirety of the project, right?
I think scroll up. There's existing
Yeah.
further up in the. Page 6 is the existing.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any comments to add. I kind of just want to reinforce Alex's comments, please, at this point, but I think there needs to be a little bit of care to the landscaping, maybe. I don't know.
We going this way?
Yes.
I don't have anything to add.
I have a question. Can you go to the site plan and could the applicant clarify, is the pool part of what we're looking at here? Because you have a proposed pool there in the corner.
Yeah, so that's just also mislabeled. The pool's, that's on a separate permit, so that's already been approved, but that is getting done.
Yeah. And the roof that you're proposing is just like a normal corrugated metal, like what you'd see on a barn, is what you were describing it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a roofing product. The idea was that we just wanted to blend in with the neighborhood and the neighbors.
An example, the color or finish of what that is?
It's like the roofing product's like a gray color roof.
Okay. Well, I think you should bring, as a comment, there should be a example of what the roofing material is going to be. And, we just had somebody come and give us a presentation, or make comments to the fact that there's concern about the reflectivity of roofing material. So I'd encourage you to propose a material that's not reflective and demonstrate such.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. I'm actually very sensitive to that because my neighbors, a lot of them have these types of roofs. We can certainly provide that information, and then
Yeah, and if you're interested in what this person came and shared with us, is a product by Steelscape, but that doesn't mean that you have to use that. So anyhow, and then I think there needs to be more documentation of what's happening around the rest of this property. I mean, you described that you're in the area of the Botanic Gardens and that there's lush landscape, and the photos kind of show something maybe otherwise. So, maybe just for one, I think it'd be good to see photos of what this property looks like from the road. Is there any visibility from the road? It looks like you're kind of like down in a canyon, so
you can't see the house or the property from the road.
Okay, well, I think regardless, you're doing a sizable improvements to the residents. I think you should at least just address what's existing around the residents and, if there's any effort to try to clean up the landscape as part of it. I would encourage you to look at that. I mean, you've got a big slope between your house and the pool that you're building and steps going down there. So you're going to improve that slope. I think you should bring that to us as part of this package. And then also those landscape tie walls that are around the back of where you're doing this improvement. I don't know. Are those proposed to stay in place as part of this?
Yeah, I wasn't planning to touch those.
Well, I'd encourage you to look at how all the space gets treated around this house between those existing walls, if you're gonna keep that, because otherwise it's just kind of unfinished, and I think your project's kind of unfinished as it's presented here. So, I think just in that direct area between the walls and around the improvements. Also, I think you should bring photos of the carports and all that so it can be documented. Those are my comments.
Thank you. So I'll just close with that. This project is here for concept, so you'll be back either way. And I think when you return, having more comprehensive site photos and context photos for the neighbors, if you're referencing roofing and materials, it would be good to be able to see those. For reference, it's generally good to have your closest neighbors shown on the site plan, just so we can see that close relationship, mostly on the side of the addition being added. And it does look like you're on the addition, you're adding a exterior door. So, we're not asking for a fully developed landscape plan for the whole property, but at least we're in the location of the addition. If you can show the circulation to any exterior doors and how you're going to deal with the, structure to landscape transition at a minimum. And I think the pool area is already permitted. Yeah.
Yes, the pool is permitted.
Grading associated with getting to the pool circulation through the site that wasn't part of that pool permit. We would just want to see how that's being re-landscaped for stability on that slope. Yes.
I think we need an updated complete site plan, including existing trees. I think we have an existing major vegetation. And also, like you mentioned, photos of existing conditions, including the site and the house. I believe it is in a high fire zone, isn't it?
Must be.
Yeah. So that's the question about the eve condition. And
and also the decking materials. I was going to mention that too.
And so the corrugated roof, I'd like to, it would be nice to have some overhang somewhere, some porch or to protect the doors and so forth, because you are in the high fire zone. That is a little bit tricky. So that's what those are the things that this board would like to see.
To clarify, there is a detail sheet with the eaves, so if you guys would like to review it before closing your comments on it. Okay.
Well, it seemed like it No, I mean, there is the question of the roof. Okay, so if the roof will have an overhang, and what exactly happens with the high fire and the corrugated metal? Yeah.
All right, so this project is here for conceptual review. Would we like it to come back for further conceptual?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think the question about the organization of the addition, the way the new connects to the existing, needs to be reevaluated because the roof right now does not work. Maybe have to be shifted or something needs to happen at the connection point.
And in the photos, include photos of the neighbors immediate, not just for reference of different roofs, but the two immediate neighbors so that we don't have a good context of this setting, the whole property, the existing house and the neighbors.
Okay. And since this is the first time seeing it to the applicant, do you have any, we can, if you have a clarification question on any of those comments?
No, I mean, it's all pretty straightforward, and we're happy to get all that back to you. And I can certainly, yeah, I'd asked the planner if this was sufficient for the conceptual review, and she said it was fine. And on the next round, we can definitely bring a much more detailed rendering of the house, site conditions, pictures of the neighbors. Regarding the pictures of the neighbors, everyone's kind of buried off of Palomino there. Do you want me to just stand on my property and photograph what it looks like from there? Like, what's helpful to you guys when you say that? 'Cause I just want to bring the correct material back.
Yeah, showing the context of your property from the public views. And then if you're referencing materials from like neighborhood context, then, you know, if they're screened, that's probably good. But at least if you can get a photo of what you're referencing.
Okay. Yeah, the house isn't visible from the street, but I'll show you what it looks like from the street. You can just basically see a mailbox, and that's all. But then I'll stand at my property and I'll photograph the neighbor houses that I can see that we're referencing, and give you some context to what their homes look like.
You also want to see photos of the existing home, you know, on your property, not just from the street.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We can certainly send those as well.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to item 4, the Faber edition. The request of Rob Britton, agent for the owner Joe and Carrie Faber. This is here for conceptual review of an addition and remodel of an as-built gazebo of 95 square feet. There's currently a residence and gazebo on the site. The project will not require grading. The property is a 0.17 acre parcel located at 5437 San Patricio Drive in the Eastern Goleta Valley Community Plan area. This looks like a pretty straightforward project, so your presentation can be brief, but please state your name and give us your presentation. Oh, sorry. I was looking down. Yeah.
It's actually Rod Britton, not Rob, but I do that all the time. How's that? It's Rod Britton. So this is one of many houses on the street. They're all pretty much the same. It's one of those things where they put the nice materials out across the front and then arbitrarily stopped on the back. So we had some transitional material problems to work with. And the other big problem is on the roof line, the front of the house, where the nice materials are. It's a 3.5 foot overhang. So those rooms at the front of the house are incredibly dark. So we just wanted to cut it back to the 2 foot line for everything else. And then if you go to the floor plan, you can see the existing entry right now. You basically get in and fall up the stairs. So we wanted to pooch that out a little bit. In the existing living room, we have those 2 columns out there, load-bearing columns. We're going to drag that front wall out to the front. So we still create an entry, but we still have on the outside and a bigger entry on the inside. You can see it on the next sheet. They have really good views of the mountains from the front of the house. So we'd like to just put a little patio out front, matches the one in the back. And then, screen it with some planting of some sort. We'll get to that point. And that's about it. Redo the kitchen, convert the one of the downstairs bedroom. Oh, okay, there you can see it. There's the elevations right now. Those are both the same. Okay. Yeah, so we're just going to basically smooth coat the whole house and plaster, just tune it up a little bit, make it a little bit more modern, kind of get an A-B rhythm going with most of the windows. That's about all. They have existing aluminum shingles. I'm going to go back with a presidential roof kind of thing,
The description references a gazebo.
Yeah, they just bought the house about a year and a half ago. If you go to the site plan.
Do you have any photos of it since it's existing?
I do not have photos of the site of the gazebo,
Okay.
but if you scroll up just a little bit, there's a gazebo in the top right-hand corner. They weren't crazy about it, but they've lived here now and they kind of like it. So it's, there are elevations of the gazebo. I'm going to say sheet 8 or something like that. Oh, back down. One more up. There we go. Up, yep. There you go. And just a little, scooch it up just a little bit more. There you go. There's the elevations of it. So it's just 6x6 posts and some beams and stuff like that. Got a color chart out there and
But it's within the setback, yeah?
it is within the setback.
And so I'm a little confused here because the only thing that we're showing is that, review an addition and remodel and then the gazebo. Okay.
Right.
You're changing doors and windows. Looks like you're eliminating chimney.
Yeah, eliminating the fireplace thing.
What else is in that scope?
New roof, new windows, doors, and then interior remodel upstairs and downstairs.
Okay.
What kind of doors and windows, what materials?
They are Marvin, used to be called Integrity. They've changed the name. I can't remember what it's
Are they,
on the door schedule, I think.
are they vinyl? Are they, no?
Aluminum clad,
Aluminum clad, okay.
refinished.
That's the magic word.
Pardon?
That's the magic word, aluminum clad, okay. So the gazebo is an open structure. It is on the setback. Is it allowed there or you need a modification or what's the story?
It just came up during my review of my planner.
Mm.
And she said to document it and present it to y'all, so.
Next time, bring pictures, photographs, also bring photographs of of this unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Ezra Pearson on the call right now? Okay. Just seeing
I
if we
don't
have-
see Ezra on. Is there a planning question?
Yeah, if we're being requested to review the gazebo that's in the setback, do we need to make any specific findings for it or is there a request for modification or we're only looking at it from an aesthetic?
So this is, let's see, it's a 12R1 zoned parcel. And this is just for conceptual review. So at this point, is there a planner memo on file for this project?
No planner memo available.
That's right.
Okay. So at this point, I would have to look into where exactly it's located within the setback that is. I don't think there's an option for a variable side yard setback for the R1 zone district, but I'd have to confirm that. So when it returns for preliminary approval, the planner will include a memo that will outline what is being requested of the board and what would be required for the gazebo to be placed in the current location. But there are a couple different options for placing a structure within a required setback, whether it's a modification or we can do a variable side yard setback for some zones.
So we'll address that the next time you come to us. but
Okay.
We can give you feedback for at concept level today. Any other questions from the board? All right, any public comment for this item?
Madam Chair, we have received no requests to speak and we have nobody in the audience.
I saw no public comment letters. Okay, we'll move on to comments from the board. Start with Alex.
Can we go to the elevations then? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. No, it looks fine. The
The overlap between the two floors.
The overhang under the roof overhang attached to the second story overhang. There might be not so, no, this is an existing condition.
That's the
It-
existing
it's-
condition.
yeah,
We can
yeah.
probably scab onto that and
Yeah,
create a cover for the,
for the door, so it covers the full door or, yeah, and I just want to put a vague comment to restudy the relationship between the overhang, the roof overhang, the second story overhang, and the patio doors on the south elevation. So you know, you figure it out. It seems like a reasonable addition. I'd like to see photographs of the gazebo just to make sure that we can approve that. And that's all I'm going to say.
Done.
Well, I think
This is Joe Faber.
an improvement to the building and a reasonable addition. I still am not clear in my mind how the gazebo set in the setback is legitimate or allowable. I don't know.
well, when I was talking to our planner, Ezra Pearson, as long as it wasn't too tall, and I can't think it was 12 foot was the max height in there, and we're well under that. And we just want to permit it.
So it's not bothering anybody. I guess it's all right.
Yes, yeah. Also, the owner just chimed in. I
think we'll finish comments and then we can give them.
Okay.
You know, what about the color too? Are you going to,
There's a color chart on the next sheet down, or up in this case, yeah. So those are the preliminary colors. Of course, we'll, you know, once the roof's up, they'll be in this palette, that tone, but you know, they might have to tweak a little bit, but put it all together. But that's basically grays and soft colors.
I don't have much to add, only the same concern about the door spanning the second story.
Right.
Addition is kind of awkward.
Yeah, nothing really to add, just curious about the gazebo as well.
I just typed in the address and there's a picture of the gazebo online, but I don't see that it's problematic.
Well,
Or you just
I
type in
did that. It's still a little hard to see, but I mean, it's not really just a matter of if it looks okay. There's concerns about noise and neighbors, and it's a very, you know, everybody's real close together here. So I'm just wondering if it's actually legal. And then whatever what everyone else thinks.
The owner just texted me a photo of the gazebo. Do y'all want to? I could. Hold on 1 second. All right. Oops.
Yeah, it's not bad looking.
So
But if I was the neighbor next door. Yeah.
On the gazebo. Both. Gazebo. Yeah. Okay. Are you there, Joe?
I am here, yes. So we've been in the house for about 1.5 years. I believe that gazebo has been up for at least 8 to 10 years, if not longer. We have never had any complaints from any of the neighbors.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on to item 5, Potter Stables, at the request of Alex Larson, NMA Architects, agent for Potter Stables, and the manager is Jane Gray, to consider for preliminary review, new residents and attached 3,467 square foot. New residence and garage is that square footage, an outhouse of 85 square feet, 836 square foot covered patios, and about 854 square feet of uncovered patios. Oh my goodness. Okay. Lots of outdoor spaces, a spa, a pool, and the removal of a 3,949 square foot residence, attached garage and footshed. There's an existing residence that's noted to be demolished, and garage and shed. The proposed project will require 260 cubic yards of cut and 2,560 cubic yards of fill. It's on a 1.5 acre parcel located at 802 Caro Sam Road in the Eastern Goleta Valley Community Plan. And I wanted to note to the board that we received, the planner had not placed the color board and some renderings in the folder ahead of time. So Jonathan emailed them to us. Even though this project is here for preliminary review, are we comfortable seeing them today? Prelim. So normally we don't receive them late for, it's the, yeah, it's not the technical drawing, so, okay. Yeah. Okay, and then would the applicant like me to read the comments, or would you like to go through them one by one? I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong. Oh, there are comments, yeah. Would you like me to read them aloud?
Sure.
Okay. It's a well-designed project. Architectural style is appropriate. Site planning is appreciated and structures are well laid out. One board member suggested the applicant consider restudy of north and south elevations to be more consistent with one another. Okay, and you can state your name and give us your presentation.
Sure. Good morning, board members. Thanks for your time today. I'm Dave Mendro. My firm is NMA Architects. We are here on behalf of our client, Jane Gray, to receive preliminary design approval for her new residence. Also with me today is Alex Larson from my office and Aaron Norson, our landscape architect. So you've seen the project before. I'll do a brief summary here. Our project's located in Hope Ranch. Typically, we wouldn't be coming before SBAR. However, this is a designated hillside site with a drop of more than 16 feet. And we're also requesting a modification to allow parking within the setbacks. So those are the two triggers that are bringing us before you today. We've already had an extensive design review process with the Hope Ranch Review Board and the Board of Directors. We met at the site with their full board and the neighbors, and we have received letters of support for the modification from the two adjacent neighbors that are impacted. And the Hope Ranch has provided us with final design approval for the project and the modifications. Just as a reminder, this property it's a flag lot that's very well screened from the street and from the neighbors. With our proposed and new landscaping and fencing, our project will not be visible, or the parking will not be visible from the street or the neighbors. We're preserving all the existing oak trees on this property, including a significant 41-inch diameter oak up at the upper area where we're building. The existing residence we're replacing is 2 stories. Our proposed residence is single story and is smaller in size than that existing residence. We've made no significant design changes to the project since we last presented to your board. Our proposed FAR remains the same at 55%, well below the maximum allowed. Our building heights remain the same. They're well below the 30-foot allowed. Our building design and finished materials are the same as we last presented, and the landscape design remains consistent with the concept plans that we presented before. What we have now here is a much more well-developed, complete set of construction documents. So I guess I would ask the board how you would like me to proceed, how much detail you would like me to get into, and how to go from here.
Okay, I think that's good. Let's go through the landscape plan briefly as well. Scroll through the rest of this.
You can keep scrolling. It's all the way down at the bottom. It starts on page 60.
Okay.
This might be a good time to mention file size. When
Alex. Get in there.
Yeah, when you guys come back, maybe break this up a little bit. We have a maximum of like 25 megs for a file, so maybe you can do multiple PDFs next time.
Plus, it makes it easier.
Definitely. Sorry about that.
Okay, you can keep scrolling. All right. Is there anything on the landscape plans that's changed significantly since the last time we saw it?
Aaron, are you available to answer that?
Yep. Nothing's changed since we last submitted, so everything should be consistent.
Okay. Chris, did you look at and Robert, did you look at the plant palette, or do we need to zoom in on it? Okay. Are you proposing any landscape lighting?
Yes.
Let's scroll to that sheet 2.
Yep, those 2 sheets.
How close is it to a structure?
If you go back to the last 2 pages, it'll show where the actual fixtures are.
Can you give us an idea where you're planting the ficus? Is that a hedge somewhere?
Yes, yeah, we have some evergreen screens to act as screening for parking up at the page north area where the drive's going. And then also down that whole side drive that goes into the garage as well.
Okay. Is there what height are you trying to screen in that location? Like
6 foot minimum. But we'll probably keep those at 6 to 8 feet.
Okay. Okay, any other questions from the board? All right, we'll move on to any public comment. There are no attendees in the online and no public comment letters in the okay, so we'll come back for comments from the board. We'll start with you want to start? Okay. Alex.
Go to page 27.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Very pretty, very nicely done. It's going to show the elevations, and the next one, 28, also has something there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, very nicely done. I have no objections whatsoever.
Okay, John?
I have nothing to add. It's a good project and I support it.
I agree.
Okay.
Good.
Josh?
I concur. I just want to compliment the applicant on the renderings that I think they really did a nice job of kind of conveying your intent, and very soft and well done. All we ever see is hard line renderings, so those are appreciated.
Chris?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think it's a really beautiful project, and just two little plant related things. I think, you're using a lot of sort of native things, and then we have a ficus hedge, a little more LA. So I would encourage you to use something besides ficus. You have Laurus nobilis is on your list. That would be a good hedge, or maybe I don't know. I'm not going to suggest maybe prunus or something, but yeah, ficus doesn't seem appropriate for this setting. And also you have nasturtium on the plant list, which is very invasive here. So I would not encourage you to introduce that. It's probably already there, but
Yeah, it is actually, but yeah, we'll take a look at that and then the hedge as well. Thank you.
I think that's all I have.
Okay. Robert?
I don't have anything to add. I think it's a great project.
That's good. I don't have anything to add either. I think I agree. It's a great project. On Chris's comment about the hedge, I think bay laurel or something, a more moderately sized hedge is pretty easy to achieve 6 to 8 feet of screening. If for some reason you needed 15 feet, you'd have to reevaluate, but
Sure.
Exactly. It sounds like within, for this project, smaller hedges are more appropriate. Okay, so this project is here for preliminary review. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Could I ask, the reason we're not here for final is because we have the modification. So as part of your approval, could you note your support of the modification? Because that's what we need to move forward.
What's the mod for? I forgot.
For the parking
Jeez.
within the setback. And there's one porch column that also encroaches within a setback.
Go to the plan, the site plan, please, on the top somewhere.
Oh, we do have a planner memo, so I can read
Get
that.
yourself one of those little fans, dude.
Okay, the project is a request for modification to allow 4 of the 6 required parking spaces and the porch
No,
located
go
in
to the site
required
plan.
25-foot setbacks of the parcel, and request for land use to allow demolition of the existing residence, garage, decks, and shed. And everything else.
Can you blow that up, please? No,
Parking
no,
Page,
not
page
that one.
18. It's page 18, the site plan. Yeah, there you go.
Blow up that section. Where is the parking then?
You can see it at the top of the north property line there. There's 4 spaces.
Jonathan?
Blow it up.
Those 4 spaces there. And it's important to note that this is an existing condition that's out there now. And I can go through the constraints of that upper lot area if that would be helpful for you.
So the 2 spaces are existing, is that what you're saying? Those 2.
Yes. Well, there currently exist, we've reconfigured things a little bit, but currently there's 4 spaces encroaching in the setback with the existing property, and we're proposing the same in a little bit of a different configuration. There's several things driving this request for the modification. Number one, we're preserving that oak tree. Right now, the existing house encroaches 81% into the drip line of that oak tree, or the critical root zone. And the arborist wanted us to improve that situation. So with our courtyard design now, we're impacting 12% of the critical root zone, and the arborist has approved it. Another factor that's constraining us is we now have to provide fire access and hose pull. And so that limits our house up to this upper area where we have the constraint of the tree. And then also this irregular shape of the lot up at the top here, the setbacks and the configuration of the lot itself really constrains us. So, and then obviously to the southwest, the lot's very steep. So we're just given a very unique, challenging lot configuration that's specific to this lot. And again, we're 55% of the FAR. So that's the basis for requesting the modification for the parking. And again, we went to the site with the Hope Ranch Board of Directors and met with the two neighbors, and they've provided letters of support and they've approved the project.
Excellent. So what's the planter dimension on the north line where the parking is? It's like 4 feet or something like that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
The width of the planter next to the drive on the north side. What is that? 6 feet or so?
Alex, can you answer that? Do you know offhand?
3 or 4.
I believe it's 6 feet.
Okay. All right. So the motion will say the modification is reasonable given the shape of the lot, the existing conditions, the existing oak, fire access, and the topography of the site.
You want to be specific? This is the modification verbiage. Minor nature.
Yeah, it's minor. The modification is minor in nature and will result in a good design.
Oh, your mic's not on.
And it will result in greater resource protection.
The modification is minor in nature and will result in a good architectural and site design and with better protection to the natural resources, meaning the oak.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
To return consent after.
Return to final, final on consent.
Great.
Right, thank you.
Great, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 6, the Walsh new single-family residence. The request of Jarrett Gorin of Vanguard Planning, agent for Des Walsh and Laura Devlin. It's here for final approval of a 7,300 square foot new residence with an attached 3-car garage. The parcel is currently vacant. The project will require 3,800 cubic yards of cut and 200 cubic yards of fill. The property is 6.48 acres, zone 10E1, and located at 2886 Hidden Valley Lane in the Toro Canyon Community Plan area. We have previous comments. There's not many, so I'll read them. Additional landscaping is in disturbed areas around the house and construction footprint is necessary. Need lighting details, need full architectural details. Again, it's here for final. So if the applicant can state their name and walk us through anything that's changed or been added since the last time we saw this.
This is Aaron Spell. Jarrett wasn't able to join us, so I'll be doing this. The plans and the projects remain the same. All we've done is added additional information to the group that was requested.
Information that was requested. So if you can walk us through the sheets that show that additional information.
On A11, there's a lighting detail, exterior lighting detail for architecture. And locations. So in the lower right hand corner is the fixture and a detail section.
Okay.
So no uplighting.
Recessed into that. Okay. Any other additions?
We've added some typical details on A540, A541, and A600.
Okay. You can go kind of.
There we go. So standard section details, and then some standard window details. And then there was comments for landscape on L300. He's added additional landscape in disturbed areas. And on L1, he's added the fire access route around the building and shown the design intent.
Any other additions since we last saw it?
That's it.
Okay. We'll go to questions from the board. Anyone have any questions? We go to the final elevations just to have them up. To move comments.
Sheets 8 and 11 to 11.
All right. And okay. All right. We'll see. Okay. All right.
I remember this.
Oh, public comment actually first before comment, sorry. Is there anyone here for public comment in online or no one's in the audience?
And we have received no letters for public comment.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to comments from the board. Val, would you?
Well, there was a question about what the roof material is and whether you're adding gravel to it to soften it.
We are at sheet A6.
Make sure you saw it because I think you had that question.
There you go. So an example of what we're planning to put on the roof.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, so as far as comments, I think I'm satisfied with the completion of the project. Review of the details and the lighting and the material.
And do you have anything?
I agree. It's a miracle this thing was built on this minimal amount of land on this huge lot. So it's quite an achievement.
All right, Alex.
We can go to first. There, and then if you go to the ones we related on 15 to 19. I think that the project is very nicely detailed, but I'm looking at these elevations and I'm trying to figure out, well, what does that mean? I mean, I see colors, splashes of colors. I don't see regoliths. I don't see, basically the details that one expects to see on elevations. I was looking at the design, at the details on pages 20 to 22. They're very nice, very, very well done, impressive. Now, the information is not conveyed in these elevations or even the black and white elevations. So I just do, it's like, it's very hard to tell. And I've been looking at drawings for 30 years plus, and I've never seen elevations like this, like without really very clarity of what exactly is being shown. If it's glass, is an opaque wall, what exactly is that? No details keyed, no symbols, window symbols shown in the elevations. I think this project needs can continue to the plan, but it needs to come back with better documentation of what exactly is going to be, because I just don't see how a building inspector can see that this is what is proposed, is what was built. It's hard. The documents are odd. I mean, it's not the standard format. That's my take. I wonder what the rest of the architects on this board think.
Josh.
Well, I think all the detailing and the elevations are here. I think Alex is correct that the lack of keying of references to the details, but I don't think they're inobvious either. There's plenty of wall sections to demonstrate where we're at, and so Yeah, I don't have any further comments, but I'm probably in the mood to make a motion for final approval. I would entertain some conditions on that, satisfy Mr. Peugeot's comments.
Okay, Chris?
I'm just still trying to decipher some things, but I think it looks fine to me. I think they provided what we asked for. And so I would support an approval.
Okay, Robert?
Yeah, I agree. I think the project should move forward. It looks good.
Okay. I would agree. Would anyone like to make a motion? Final?
Make a motion that the project receive final approval with this condition that the architect resubmit to the planner a set of plans to identify on the elevations and floor plans and roof plans, locations of all the details and wall sections listed in the drawing set presented today.
Those are handled in the building permit that's actually has been submitted.
That doesn't really reply here, sorry.
Is there a second?
Okay, I'd second it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain for this. I just don't think there's enough documentation, but I would like this project to proceed.
Carries. All right, last item of the day. We'll move on to item 7, the Ravenchanis addition and accessory structure. The request of Nello Manciotti for the property owner Char Ravenchanis. You can correct my pronunciation, I apologize. For conceptual review of a dining room addition of 154 square feet, 576 square foot artist studio, 100 square foot wine, and 100 square foot wine cellar. There's an existing 2,000 square foot main house, 500 square foot garage and laundry room, and the project will require no cut or fill. Properties on a 1 acre parcel located at 2940 Torito Road in the Toro Canyon community. We have not seen this before, so if the applicant can state their name and give us their presentation. Focus on exterior.
Good morning. My name is Nello Manciotti. Basically, the project is to fill out the necessities of the family, which is growing exponentially because they have a lot of kids. And the house is used for the weekend retreat for the family. And they realized that the dining room is too small for the whole family. So we are proposing to add 154 feet to the dining room, which I don't know, you can see in page number 3 or right there. That's the original one, 90 dining room. As too small, you see related to the house is really small. So we are planning to add and create a barbecue deck on that side of the house without any change on the color, on the roof, on the pitch will be the same. The windows will remain the same. So it's kind of add-on, but if you see the elevations, they don't create any kind of disruption or any kind of change of the original house. And the second building will be the artist studio that the owner is inclined to do this kind of thing when he retired. So the idea is to have this little shed on the side and with the same structure, the same colors, the same characteristics as the main house. The good thing on the property that the owner loved and is really a sanctuary for oak trees. We have like 35 with a nice canopy. The whole property is covered in shadows. So we are trying to build the studio between the trees that allow us a small flat space. We will do the arborist report and the biological report on the way. And that will be basically the main project for this meeting today. The ADU will be on top of the garage, but I think that is not related to this committee. But just in case, it's the second story for ADU to create additional room for the family growing. And I think that will make the presentation. Any questions, please go ahead.
Thank you. I will go on to questions from the board. No questions? All right, is there any public comment? No one in the audience?
And we have received no comment letters.
Letters. All right, we'll move to comments from the board. Start with Alex. You want to start landscape?
So it's a sloping site, so it will be. I mean, I like the project seems fine. It's just that the presentation is a little bit. It's not the way an architect will draw the plans. I mean, it will show the site section. It will show maybe more pages and things a little bit more a different organization. But I see the intent. I would like to see the street elevation. We have everything that you see from the street, you know, meaning the perhaps at a smaller scale just to fit on the page, and to be more clear on have a site plan with a little bit more clarity as to what is existing and what is new. Maybe the new can be in a darker tone or a color or something like that, and the existing in a different way.
Yeah, I tried to put the elevation. You see existing in red and proposed.
Yeah, I'll give you a minute. You have a time to.
Yeah, you can have a minute to respond at the end, but
Oh, okay, thank you.
I think it's kind of for one thing, it would be nice to see the whole project together, maybe at smaller scale, where you have an elevation from the street, where you see all the buildings. There is a slope to the side, so there will be a, it will not be flat like that. And the side elevation should show, should have a side section showing the slope inside. And the materials need, the hatch patterns are a little bit off. They're not exactly, but in any case, I like the project. It's just that it could use a little bit help with the way it is presented.
Are there photos of the existing? Is that it? Are you changing the colors, materials?
No, we are keeping all the colors.
All the colors.
As original. All in every single unit that we are building is going to be the same color. And the same material, the same roof.
Well, I think it's consistent with the existing structure, and it looks okay to me. I think it's fine.
I don't seem to, I agree with Alex. The documentation's a little overly conceptual, and it's very hard to tell what's existing and proposed. So that needs to be rectified. That's just a technical issue. Looking at the photographs, I can kind of judge the intent of the original architecture or designers approach to the exterior, and it looks like the windows and doors are bound by a 2x6 rough sawn, 1x trimming. Looks like to be cedar or something similar to that. I look at the house photo image number 7. It appears that a pair of French doors that really don't fit with the project in blue were added, and the person that added those ignored the trim scheme. The door to the right, the single light door, those 2 blue doors, both kind of violate the spirit of the original design. So it looks like they've been added on, or either that the original art designer just totally blew it. But, you know, there's another image, in here on image 2, and there's a bunch of double hung windows slapped into the side of this building and door. And again, they missed the mark on continuing with the design. If you look on image 3, clearly see how the intended design of the house is supposed to work. There's this like 45-degree lap side, or not lap siding, but groove siding. It looks to be cedar. It's very, you know, much a 1970s type architecture. I don't know, but 80s, but it has the trim, you know, there's a continuity to it. And then there's an image 8, kind of combination of the windows and the stone and the angled siding. And, you know, back when this house was designed, that was pretty cool, I guess, whoever designed it. I really just want to see the applicant continue to move this forward, but not to bastardize the design that's trying to be there. And it looks like it's already been somewhat ignored in some places. So and maybe that was the original design. I don't know, but I just think some attention. I think the little blue doors look odd, and like where windows just get popped in that they don't look right. There's some nice attempts at detailing on the exterior that just need to be respected and represented to us to show that, you know, it's still moving in that direction. But again, like in terms of like what John said, I don't think there's anything wrong with the overall proposal and the approach of, you know, or the mass bulk and scale design style, and just kind of maintaining continuity and cleaning it up would be very much appreciated by the neighbors, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you. Couple additional things. I'm trying to decipher the site plan as well. It kind of looks like an old PDF that was scanned in. Question for the applicant: do you have a survey done when you started working on this?
Yeah, we did a survey. You can see all the canopy of the trees. The circling thing is all the trees that we have.
I think what needs it looks like it's very wooded, and there's a lot of overlapping lines. It's very hard to read the site plan.
Yeah, it's the canopies on the face.
One second, let me finish my thought.
You can respond for 1 minute at the
Yeah, after. So a lot of overlapping lines. So simplify the site plan, locate all the existing trees, because it looks like a very wooded area, and how are the new structures impacting those trees, and what type are they, et cetera, et cetera. And so, yeah, beyond that, I agree that it's kind of hard to decipher what's existing and proposed on the elevations, especially. This would certainly warrant a landscape plan as well, at least for the areas around the new additions. I think that's my only additional comments.
Okay, Robert.
I think Chris kind of summarized some of the lacking items within the site plan here. I have a question. How does a koi pond kind of work with the arch shed? I mean, is it essentially like a pool that you're building right there against the studio?
Oh, it's a koi pond that they're planning to do it.
So it's going to be like a concrete lined pool that you walk around?
It's a koi pond.
Oh. I just, as a comment, I would encourage you to study how that koi pond integrates into the studio, because right now it's just lacking any detail in terms of how it's going to be accomplished. And, you know, the integration of the walkway around the koi pond, I think, could potentially be refined, and how all these walkways interact with the existing landscape around them needs to be defined in a better way. I don't have anything to add other than those comments.
I don't have anything to add beyond that either. I was just mostly concerned about the encroachment into the trees, and how any required mitigation will be fit into the proposed landscape. So this project is here for conceptual. It will probably need to continue, come back for further conceptual with more information on the site plan and the comments noted. Come back for preliminary. Okay. Okay, so we'll agendize you for preliminary too if you come back with those details. I did promise a minute to respond, so if you would like to respond to any of the questions or comments.
Yeah, please. Only the street view. If you notice the main the Torito Road, it's a really narrow street, and we have a main door, big one, and you don't see anything from the property from outside. We have the gate and the main fence, and you don't see anything. The only thing that you see is a big canopy of oak trees. That's the only thing you will see from outside. But I try to keep all the materials on the main house, on all the single buildings that will do it. It's the same exactly materials. Replicate everywhere, including in the addition and in the little studio that we are planning to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, one last thing. As far as the site plan goes, also please add existing and proposed hardscape. I'm not even able to find where the driveway is.
Yeah, it's all trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, please note all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that it?
All right, we'll see you when you return. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That is our last item today.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. I know, but it's fun, Josh.